Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. This video is going to be rather different, as it's not much of a theory, more of an informational video about an upcoming project from some of the previous devs that worked with Tarsia and on the games Little Nightmares, Little Nightmares 2 and Little Big Planet. So, why am I talking about this game? Well, it has potential and it looks right up our alley. Currently, as it stands, we don't even have a name for this game as of yet, but we know some of the talents that worked on games that we so heavily love, like Little Nightmares, have taken their talents and begun this new project, and it's still fairly new. So I thought I would give you a bit of information on what I could find so far, and while we follow their development, I'll make sure to make videos on the updates of the game and or new teasers that we get to see in the future. But again, it's still fairly new, so everything that we might see today may change at some point in the future, but that won't stop us seeing if we can break down what we can see already. Anyway, from what we can see of the shared content at the moment, it looks like to be an action-adventure isometric shooter with a horror and some dark atmosphere vibes. Aside from the isometric shooter, we know these themes fairly well, and we have invested our time in these themes heavily. From what I can see, the game looks gorgeous, and it is being made again in Unreal Engine 4, and we see small parts of the game and get glimpses of what's to come from the mechanics and the atmosphere. So let's begin. So who are the studio in question? Well, they are Section 9 Interactive, an independent video game studio located in Malmö, Sweden. From their website they say the following: "We are a small team with long experience in the games industry, previously working on leading roles on titles such as Little Nightmares, Little Nightmares 2, and Little Big Planet PS Vita. Our ambition is to use our combined skills and passion to create world-class games with compelling visuals and interesting worlds to explore. We are hard at work on a new sci-fi action-adventure title for PC and the next generation consoles." In my research, I haven't particularly found much information about Section 9 in general, but in my defense, they are fairly new. While of course, the team is obviously built up of much experience, the actual studio seems to be fairly new. Now when they say they're a small team of people working on making world-class games, it's no lie. From what I can tell from their LinkedIn profile and some of the social pages, they actually only have around, according to LinkedIn, 3 to 10 employees. And as you can imagine, for a game that looks so good already, they must be experienced and very good at what they do. So, with that little introduction out the way and probably the minimalist amount of information I can gather, let's get into the content they have released on their social pages and see if we can get an idea of what's going on already. Now, all their social pages will be below, so you can go follow them in the development adventure. I will be following them too, like I stated earlier. We're going to try and keep an updated catalogue of videos about the game. So, anyway, let's get into the first image we see. And we see this on the website and it's in the press pack, and it's one of the main protagonists in the game. We can see that they are surrounded by pipes in the dark area, with a small scenery pieces around them like falling wires. From the image, I'm getting the impression that the character is either underwater or in some alien-like world where they do not share the same breathing mechanics, or oxygen for short, but that's assuming the main character does breathe oxygen. And this could be the reason for the old diver's helmet. We can see that there is a face to our protagonist as the light shines in the helmet, revealing some of their features. We can see a small weapon, which looks to be a type of pistol, and a larger gun on their back, which could appear to be a sniper or some sort of special weapon for the character. The next bit of content we see is a GIF of some of the gameplay in action, and it seems our protagonist is using their pistol-like weapon to fend off some odd creature. It seems the creature gets shot a few times and then starts to extrude some type of extra body part, like the neck of the creature. From the look of it, it can be compared to creatures like that of Dead Space enemies. Surrounding them, it seems that they're again in the particle effect from the first image, but in this GIF it looks more like toxins rather than underwater. One thing I do find interesting about this is how fluent and unrestricted the movement is, because if I was to assume that this game is taking place underwater, you could imagine that the water would provide some resistance to the movement, and thus we wouldn't be able to get those cool quick movements and whatnot. And that also leads to the possibility that if this isn't underwater, then those particle effects must be some type of like toxin or air pollution of some sort. In the next GIF, we see a group of characters walking across a more open version of a bridge that we see in the next few images. But we don't know much about these characters yet, and my first thought would be that they look like some sort of scouts or a squad, possibly looking for our protagonists as they shine the light over. I'd be hard pressed to say they were our companions in this adventure, but from the look of it, they do look rather interesting, especially how 3 of the members, or 2, are carrying something on their backs, which looks to be supplies, or it could be the crates that we see later on in the game. In the next GIF, we see our main protagonist is moving through a large pipe of some sort, which seems to be infested with some type of creature, looking awfully similar to the Flood in Halo, for instance. It looks like they are consuming the corpse behind the protagonist. As the GIF plays, it looks as if our protagonist is scanning the area with a type of device he holds with 2 hands. What's interesting here is the speculation of what he's actually scanning for. Could it be a way to resource manage? Could it be scanning for life forms? Are they looking for clues? It's a very interesting feature to include, and especially on your pressed material, so I think it's going to be a big part of the game. In the next GIF, we see the main character running to the other side of a broken bridge. They get there by using some type of grappling gun. It appears that this could be another feature for the pistol that we see at the start. It seems as if the grappling gun latches onto the power from the box and pulls itself to it. What I wonder is if the grappling gun is only attracted to certain materials or some type of power, for instance, and that's the only way you can use it to get to other sides of the area. The room itself looks to be a big crossing, one of large infrastructure. I do wonder what was big enough and clumsy enough to actually break this bridge in half like it's done. It must have been a rather large creature or object, or it must have been some type of explosion. In the next small GIF, we see our player running into a room with a chest, and the player runs up to it and opens the chest. Now, we can't actually tell what the contents of the chest was, as there's a very minimalist interface design, or that could be selected for a possible reason of trying to hide it. But thanks to this GIF, we can safely assume that there are now either 1 or 2 features, so there's either a collection system or an inventory system where we need to stock up on items or make them or pull them out of the chest. So we know there's an extra bit of gameplay to be had. In the next GIF shown to us, our protagonist is setting off some type of explosive detonator device on the wall to grant access to the next level. Watching this makes me wonder if we can do more exploring by blowing up walls and gaining access to other levels, and if this charge was actually pulled out from the chest we saw before. And the last image that's shared with us is that of a type of a large semi-alive robot with 3 legs, possibly one of the most worrying things I've seen from this press kit. In the first few frames of the video, we see a type of cutscene shot with the camera, which is not the same as the isometric one we see with the protagonist. So could this be an introduction to the enemy? And it looks as if it's detected something and went to investigate, or the creature could be doing some type of surveillance in the area. It looks to use the same type of scanning we saw earlier with the protagonist in the vents, but this time, of course, being a baddie, it's a red light indicating it's not a good boy. We also get to see a little bit of a boss fight where the 3-footed enemy charges its lasers and attacks our protagonist, and the protagonist escapes the shot by dodging another feature. Something I found rather unpleasant with this is that if you look at the light just before it starts to charge, you can see the shape of a skull where the light emerges and emits from, which I must say is quite a frightening thought. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to be a very promising game, and with the expertise and experience that the devs have from games like Little Nightmares 2 and Little Big Planet, I'm sure it's going to be very exceptional. And of course, here on this channel, we are very interested to see where the lore and story of the game will take us. Who knows, perhaps we could even see essence of Little Nightmares and the city of Metronome in there. But enough of my rambling, let me know what you think about this game in the comments below, and while you're here, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and the content, and also while you're here, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank the members of the YouTube channel, and they are the following: Eudamus, Kris Pyne, Andrew Goodguy, Elegant Desire, Strange Creatures, Nivon, Jessica DeHaro, That Girl with the Afro, Mr. Dragon, Greenapple Gaming, Newly New, Elena, and DF. thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the extra support. It really goes a long way. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the information that I provided you today. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And with that being said, I wish you the best morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. I will see you all in the next theory video. And with that being said, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.